Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Learn AWS with Neeraj. I welcome all of you for today's demo class. So as you are aware that I am planning to conduct a 1 week of free AWS training, and today is the first day of our training program. So today's class we will keep it light, like we'll talk about introduction to cloud computing. We'll talk about introduction to AWS, and I will also introduce myself, and we'll also talk about what is the topics we will be covering in next 1 week. Okay, so before we start, let me quickly check on the YouTube chat if you guys can hear me properly and if you can see my screen. So give me a moment. So I'm starting a poll in the YouTube chat. I would request everyone to please respond to that chat. That will help me to start the session without wasting more time. Okay, so I have got around 6 votes till now, and everyone is saying that I am audible perfectly. That's good to know. Okay, so before we start, right, I will quickly would like to know like what type of background you are having, and accordingly I will start. I know I asked the same question on the Google form where you filled up the form, right? But maybe everyone might not be joining today, right? So I will conduct a one more poll quickly. So I will put some questions there, like if you are doing study or just done with study, and we can give one more option like experienced. IT professional. Okay, I have started one more poll, and I would request you to please vote for that. Once I have the clarity, once I have the idea like what type of audience I have, I will be explaining accordingly. Okay, so I can see that 82% of the people are done with studies and looking for job. That is the majority. Okay, so that's really good to know. That means you have completed your BTech or BCA or any other computer related course, right? So if you are new in the, I can say IT world, that means you are a fresher and you are looking for a job, or even if you are already working in IT, but not exactly on AWS. In that case, you can think about switching your career to AWS. Why AWS is good, why the industry is moving towards AWS, what exactly AWS is all about, and the most important thing is how to create our trial account. Because uh, I don't prefer to just going through the PPTs. That's a very boring stuff, right? And we will not get that much confidence and that much of learning from PPT. Rather, I should show you everything practically on my AWS trial account. But since today is the first class and people are very new to the cloud computing or very new to the AWS, so only for today's class I have few slides, very limited slide, hardly 4 to 5 slides. But next class onwards, we will start our classes from Monday, right? So Monday onwards, I won't be showing you any PPT, any presentation. We will be directly opening our trial account and we will be demonstrating everything practically on my trial account. So after the class, what you can do is you can also create your trial account, and you can also practice the same on your trial account. That way you will gain more confidence and more practical exposure, which is more important for getting a job. Theoretical knowledge, just watching the videos will not help. If you are getting some practical exposure, that will help you to get a job easily. Okay, so friends, I have conducted two polls and I have closed them. I have got the idea like what type of audience I have, so that I can explain it accordingly. In case you are feeling any doubt at any point of time, please don't hesitate to ask. You have the chat window, right? You can type your question in the chat window, and in between, I keep on checking the chat and I will be responding to your questions. Okay. Since today is the first class, so don't hesitate to ask any question. There is no question which is silly question. I don't think that any question is silly. If you don't know anything, or if you don't know, don't think that it's a basic question, what other people will think about me. No need to think about all this thing. You have any simple doubt, please type in the chat window and I will be happy to answer your doubt. Okay, so I'm just checking the chat is working fine. Okay, so can someone please confirm that till now anyone has any question or you have anything to ask? Otherwise, without wasting more time, we will be starting with today's class. Okay, that's good. I think we can get started. Let me minimize my window, my video, so that you guys can have a more look at the screen, I mean, on the presentation. And just give me a moment. Okay, I hope you can see my presentation properly. Let me maximize it and we should be good to start. Okay, can someone please confirm me over the chat if you guys can see the full screen of the presentation? Okay, so before we start, there's a question from Hari Krishna. He's asking what kind of job we can apply if we learn AWS. So I hope you are aware that AWS is a IT related service. So after this, we can apply for IT related jobs. So if you are coming from BTech, MTech, BCA, MCA, or PGDCA, or you are doing BSc with computers, if you are involved in any such type of courses, then that means you are looking for IT job. So, and in IT job, what type of profile you can get, I will be explaining throughout the training program. Okay, so let's quickly start. I don't want to extend this training because taking longer training will be boring and I want to make it quite interesting and quite interactive. That's why I'm recommending everyone please post your question in the chat so that it's not a boring session and I will keep on answering your questions in between. Okay. Okay, so friends, let's start with introduction to cloud computing. Why I'm not saying introduction to AWS or AWS is different from cloud computing, that we will explore in this presentation. Okay, so before we start, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Neeraj and I am into IT field from last more than 15 years. I started my career with Java and then I worked on few Java projects. After that, I moved to big data and Hadoop. If you are a fresher, you might not have heard about that term. If you are a working professional, that means you may be aware about big data and Hadoop. So big data and Hadoop, I worked for around 6 to 8 years, and I also providing training on big data and Hadoop that point of time. Now from last 6 years, starting from 2017, I'm into cloud computing and mainly into AWS. So cloud computing has many, you can say, uh, leading brands. Like AWS is the most leading one. We have GCP also, that stands for Google Cloud Platform, and there is one more. I will be explaining that in short. So along with my 15 year of IT experience, I have around 10 year of training experience as well. That's my hobby, you can say, because whatever I learn in my office, I used to share my knowledge with working professional, with the students who are doing BTech and MTech, and who are just done with the studies and looking for jobs. So I keep on sharing my knowledge. Earlier, I was providing the training on big data, and nowadays, from last few years, I am into AWS training as well. I am AWS certified professional solution architect, and on Google side I am GCP certified professional cloud architect. Okay, so this is very brief about me, and let's start with introduction to cloud computing. Okay, so cloud computing, as the name indicates, that you are computing something on the cloud. Now, what cloud is all about, right? So cloud is nothing but, let me go to the next slide, because this is the agenda, and all these point anyway we will be covering in our individual slide. So let's start with the first one. So cloud is a set of remote servers physically located somewhere on the earth. It's very important thing. It's not with you does not mean that it's not physically located. Definitely it's physically located somewhere, right? Just like today, if we talk about today's training, you can see me through the video conferencing, but I am physically located somewhere in India, right? So similarly, there are a set of servers. That means there are a lot of server with different configuration, different hardware, different RAM, different hard disk are available somewhere, and those server you can get access, and you can use it from comfort of your home, from your office. That means you do not need to be physically available over there. That's not required. Okay, and on demand self service. So whenever I conduct this demo session, I always prefer to give some layman example, because my purpose is not to bother you with the technical terms. Rather, my purpose is to make the concept very simple so that you can understand it very easily. So I will take very simple example. Suppose you are a group of 5 friends and you are planning a trip to Goa. That's a good idea, right? I don't know whether it's a good idea in this season or not, because it's a rainy season. But suppose you are planning in a New Year time. Now, in order to roam here and there, go to beaches, go to pubs, go to other activities, you need your conveyance. Maybe you are planning for a car. Now there are two options. Shall we buy a car in Goa for 5 days? Is that a good idea? No, absolutely not, right? Because there may be lot of complexity, lot of formalities in order to buy a car, and moreover, buying a car for 5 days does not make any sense, right? If you need for 5 days, better to rent a car. It's very easy. You simply go to any car renting companies. There are more of a lot of companies available. Ask them that I want a car and which type of car you want. That's completely customized. Customizable means they may have a lot of variety. You want small car, big car, SUV, sedan, open car, and there can be a lot of more facilities, right? So you have the flexibility to choose from the available options. And along with car, you may ask them that, can you provide us the driver also? Because we group of 5 friends, we know a little bit of driving, but we are not like expert drivers in hill station or in a different city, right? So maybe you will say that I'm looking for driver also. So the company can provide you the driver, but yes, they will be charging separately for the driver. On top of that, I'm just extending that conversation, extending that Goa example. You rented the car, you rented the driver, and now you are asking the driver, can you help us for doing some water activities? Driver will say, yeah, I will do that, but I will be charging for it. I mean, apart from the activity charges, because I am providing the services to you, I will be taking some commission or I will be taking some money, right? So everything is customizable. You want only car, you go for it. You drive yourself and you book your own water activities. If you say that you need a car and a driver, but you will book your water activity by yourself, you can even go with that. Okay. Now I hope you understood my this Goa trip example. Now I will correlate that Goa example with cloud. Okay, that means If you are having a project, suppose you got a project from your client, but the project is very small, it's a small POC, and you can say that you just need 100 server for 2 months. Now, company may or may not be interested to invest money into 100 server just for 2 months, because after 2 months, your project is over and you may not need those servers again, right? On the other side, cloud is providing you the resources on rent as per your requirement, as per your preferred configuration. If you say I want 8 GB of RAM, or I want 128 GB of RAM, and I want 1 TB of hard disk, you can choose each and everything, and accordingly, cloud service provider will be providing you those hardwares. Hardware is equivalent to, you can say, car. Now, on top of hardware, there may be some tools required, and the tools may not be freely available, right? So you can ask the cloud service provider that server is fine. I need 100 server for my team, but along with server, I need some tool, I need some technologies, I need some services. So cloud service provider will say, okay, not an issue. We have variety of services. You choose from the services whatever you like, whatever you need, and you have to pay only for whatever you choose. And the good part is, if I talk about server, right? Suppose you opted for one server and you are running that server only for 3 hours a day. Remaining 21 hours you are not running. So the cloud service provider, they will be charging you only for those 3 hours. That's quite good, right? My data is stored on my server. My server is in stopped state. That is not chargeable to you. And the next day when you will start your server again, because that server is dedicated to you, no one else is using that. That means whatever data you stored yesterday, today you will find the data again, and I will run my server today for 5 hours, so they will be charging me only for 5 hours. Okay, so I hope this example helped you to understand like what exactly cloud is offering. You can see here auto scaling of hardware. Auto scaling means as and when you say that I opted for the smaller server, and now I feel that this server is very small, my requirement is not fulfilled, I need a higher configuration server. I can again correlate with that trip example. You opted for a car, and after roaming around for one day, your friends are not happy. They are saying, hey, it's very small car and we are not enjoying. Better to pay more rent and better to hire a good car. So you go back to the company again tomorrow morning and ask them that, okay, we will pay higher charges, but we are looking for a bigger car because we are not comfortable with this one. So they will provide you, they will replace, they will charge it accordingly. So at any point of time, you can increase the capacity of your server, or you can even decrease the capacity. If you feel that you have taken a big car and you don't have that's not worth spending that much of money, tomorrow you can go back and tell them that, okay, we need a scooty, you take the car back, and we need the scooty, and we are just group of 4 friends, rather we will opt for 2 scooters. You can do that. Okay, the next is cloud managed services. That means whatever issue will come. Let's again take the car example. You are going on a beach and suddenly your car broke down. What you will do? First of all, you are not the car owner. You have taken on rent, so nothing to worry about. Simply inform the that particular company. Tell them that we are here. This is the location, and your car broke down. Please provide the another car immediately. And they do. They usually do that. So they will send someone with a different new car, and you can take the new car, and now you don't have to worry about that your earlier car broke down or whatever issues are. That will be completely taken care by that car renting company. Same thing is here. If you feel any server is not going fine, server is having less capacity, server is crash down, you can talk to AWS service provider. They will replace it for you, and you continue your development activities. And the last but not the least is pay as you go. I think I have already explained that in case you are using it for limited time, you are using a specific service, accordingly you will be charged for that. This is, I'm talking about a company point of view. For our training purpose, we will be creating a trial account, and that would be completely free of cost. But yes, there will be some limit on the usage of the services. Giving anything for free does not mean that you can launch hundreds of server. No, that's not possible. But yes, whatever you will do for training purpose, this whatever limit they are providing, that's more than sufficient. I usually create one account in 1 year because the account they provide is valid for 1 year only. Within that 1 year, I conduct like many training batches because almost every month I have a 6 week training program as well. That's a paid training which I provide to US people. So every 6 week I have a training batch. So you can say that I use my trial account and I don't pay anything for that. It's completely free of cost available provided you take care of your uses. Keep a close eye on your uses. Stop the server when you are not using it so that you are not unnecessarily charged for that. Okay. So friends, this is all about the first slide. That is what is cloud computing. I hope you must have got some brief idea what is cloud computing. Okay. Any doubts till now? You can paste in the chat window. I will be happy to answer that. Okay, others is saying that good example. Yeah, thanks others for recognizing that. My purpose is always to keep the training very simple. I don't want to use very heavy technical words that people get confused and people get lost. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to make the things simple so that you can understand that. Okay, so any doubts, I would say again, please ask in the chat window. Otherwise, we'll be moving to the next slide. Okay, that's good. If there is no doubt, we are good to go to the next slide. The next slide is cloud service provider. Again and again, I was telling that cloud service provider, right? Who are the cloud service provider? So cloud service, there are a lot of cloud service provider in the market. But if I talk about the top providers, the top is AWS. That stands for Amazon Web Services. And the next is Microsoft Azure. And the third one is Google Cloud. As you know that these are three main like IT leading companies, right? Like Amazon is there, Microsoft is there, Google is there. Apart from these three, there are many more cloud service provider, but they are like very on lower level. These are very on higher level. And if I talk about these three, you may be thinking who is leading? Without any doubt, AWS is leading the cloud market. I know, I will tell you why. Because AWS started long back, around 2002, 2003, AWS started cloud computing. You may be thinking that you just heard a few years back. That's true. They started their research on that. They started with few services, and nowadays they have more than 200 services. That means whatever you can think of, they have some service available for you to make your day-to-day activity easy. If you say, okay, my data is coming from a server and that is a raw data, I need to clean it because it has some invalid data and I need to analyze it. Whatever requirement you are coming up with, AWS has a pre-configured, pre-optimized service for it, which can help you to do, you can say, to work on your project very easily. Okay, so out of these three, we will be, our training is on AWS. But let me tell you very important thing. In case tomorrow, I mean tomorrow means suppose after few months, you get a chance to work on Microsoft Azure or work on Google Cloud, don't feel that they are very different. They are same only, right? It's like you are watching some movie on Netflix or you are watching a movie on this one Amazon Prime. They are different service provider, but ultimately both are giving the similar services, right? Same thing is here. AWS, that means Amazon, Microsoft, Google, they are providing similar type of services, so there is no difference. But yes, more chances that you will get AWS project, because as I said, AWS is leading the market. Microsoft and Google started little late. That's why there are more chances that if you talk to your friends, your seniors, or you explore on Google, out of 10, 6 to 7 project you will find on AWS. 2 3 projects you can find on Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure. Okay, so nothing to remember. I don't ask you to remember anything, just for your knowledge that there are mainly 3 service providers. Okay, before we proceed, there is a small doubt from Manoj. He's asking, can we get those PDF file? Absolutely, Manoj. So we have a WhatsApp group, right? I hope everyone has already joined my WhatsApp group. So I can share in that WhatsApp group for your reference after the training. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Next is cloud service models. I think this I have already explained you in that Goa example, but let me correlate again. So the bottom layer, infrastructure as a service, and in short, it is known as IaaS. That means infrastructure as a service. I think the name itself is giving you the detail, right? That means cloud is providing the infrastructure as a service. You can opt for it. You want a server, you want a network switch, you want a RAM size, hard drive, or there can be anything. So in case you are looking only for infrastructure, then go with IaaS, infrastructure as a service. You can compare with only car. You are only renting car. After that, you yourself will drive. You are a group of five friends and few of them know driving. So you can drive like one by one or like that. You don't need a driver from the renting company. Okay. Now the next one is platform as a service. That means you are saying that I definitely need hardware. On top of hardware, I need some platform on which my team can work upon. Because team will work on some tool, right? Some tool, some technology where you can do the coding, where you can do your testing, development, deployment, and all this thing. In that case, cloud service will provider will provide you the platform as well. So they will be charging for both. They will be charging for infrastructure and they will be charging for the platform as well. And coming to the top layer, software as a service. And that means your infrastructure is there. On top of that, there is a platform, and using that platform, a software has been built. That's the end product. Suppose Google Drive. In order to use Google Drive, you are the end user. You are not even worried about like how Google Drive is designed, how the coding was done for Google Drive, and you are not even concerned about like where exactly your Google Drive is storing its file. All these things you are not concerned about, right? Because you are the end user and you are interested in the end product. That's why the top layer is software as a service. Okay. Again, I would say you don't need to remember this thing, but in case you are discussing with your team members, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your seniors, someone say IaaS, or sometimes they call it as SaaS and PaaS also. So SaaS is nothing but software as a service. PaaS is nothing but a platform as a service. And the bottom layer is infrastructure as a service. You can opt as per your need. Okay. So that's completely depend upon the client. Some client are just looking for hardware and they have their own tool and technology, right? That means you can mix and match. You tell the cloud service provider that you only provide the hardware. Platforms, services, tools, technologies, database, I will take care. I will install on that server. You can do that. Okay. So any doubt on this slide? That is cloud service models. Otherwise, we are good to proceed to the next slide. Let me quickly check the time. Time is almost half an hour is gone. Okay, seems like there is no doubt. Ankit Rathore is saying no doubts. Please continue. That's good. So I'm going back to slide. Okay. So if we are moving towards cloud, there must be some benefits, right? If you are moving from bike to scooty, scooty to, I mean, bike to car or car to some bigger car, definitely you are looking for some features and then only you are making that switch, right? Similarly, if you are moving towards cloud, that simply means that there are some benefits of using cloud. That's why the entire industry is moving towards cloud. So although we have talked about these points here and there, but let's explore these points again quickly. The first one is cost saving. No upfront cost for setting up the infrastructure. I can again compare with the car example. Just for 5 days, we will not buy a 10 or 15 lakhs car in Goa. Does not make sense, right? Either rather, I will pay 2000 rupees each day. For 5 days, we'll pay only 10,000 rupees and we'll get car for roaming around here and there, right? Pay as per your uses. Whatever number of days you will use, you just need to pay for it. That's all. Same thing is applicable to the cloud. Whatever services, whatever server, whatever configuration. If you are going for 8 GB RAM, it will be less chargeable. If you are looking for 56 GB of RAM, definitely it will be more chargeable. Okay. The next is scalability and flexibility. That means you are fully flexible to choose the server as per your requirement. Maybe you can start your development with a smaller server, but later on when you feel that okay, my business is growing now, my number of customer are increasing now, and my website is running very slow. Let's take an example of Flipkart. So if someone is coming to Flipkart, they are able to put the different items into the what to say that the checkout box, right? They are putting into that, and while making the payment, and somehow your payment is failing. So that's ultimately cost to the company, right? Because people are able to put the items into the bucket, but they are not able to check out, they are not able to make the payment. In that case, you can scale on demand. Suppose there's a big billion day. There was an Independence Day sale on 15th of August, or there can be another sale coming from Amazon on Diwali time, New Year time, Independence Day, Republic Day, right? Only for 3 days sale, only for 5 days sale, definitely company will not buy new hardware. Rather, they will ask their service provider. Suppose they are with AWS or they are with Google Cloud. It depends, right? Suppose my service provider is AWS. I will ask my service provider that I am planning to run a sale, Independence Day sale, and I'm expecting around 5 times customer during those 5 days. So can you increase the number of server? Can you increase the capacity of my servers so that none of the customer is facing some payment failure issue? Cloud service provider will say, okay, not an issue. That's what we are here for, right? Whatever you ask for, we'll do. But yes, that would be chargeable. So only for those 5 days, your capacity will be increased. Once your sale is over, you can say remove those server from your project, and finally you only have to pay only for those 5 days. That's the beauty of cloud. Okay. The next is reliability. You can rely upon the cloud service provider. They keeps the duplicate copy of your data. That means if you are copying any data into the cloud, they will maintain on different geographical location. I will tell you, in India there are servers of AWS in Mumbai and in Bangalore and in Hyderabad recently. So suppose your data is stored in Mumbai, that's first copy. Along with that, AWS will make sure to maintain the same copy in a different country, maybe in US, maybe in Japan, maybe in Australia, not in the same country. Because suppose any natural calamity happens, some flood, some rains, or some earthquake, or maybe war, or anything, right? In any situation, if one of the location is somehow facing some network connectivity issue or destroyed or anything, AWS or even other service provider, they are still capable of providing you your data from a different geographical location. And that's the benefit of cloud. That's why the companies are moving towards the cloud, because ultimately companies can concentrate on their day-to-day development activity. Remaining things, maintenance, security patches, and virus attack, physical security, and all these things your cloud service provider will take care. So you can see that system maintenance, anything related to security, safety, that will be taken care by your cloud service provider. Okay. So we talked about benefits. In case you are having any doubt, you can ask me. And let me quickly check the chat. Harshit Sharma is saying, sir, can you please provide this video as a recorded session also? So Harshit, and it's for everyone, the link which you are using for attending this meeting live, the same link you can use at any point of time in future to watch the recording. In the today evening, tomorrow, click on the same link and you will be able to watch the recording from the beginning. Okay. The next question is from Muhammad Furkan, and he's asking, what is the disadvantage of cloud? That's a very good question. Because in this world, nothing comes only with benefit. And not only cloud, it's applicable to everything in our life. Whether it's a mobile phone, right? Does mobile phone have only benefits? There are some side effects also, right? Nowadays, a lot of side effects of using more screen time, more, you can say, social networking website, Insta, lot of things. So you are absolutely right, Mohammed. There are definitely some limitations and some disadvantage of cloud that we will be talking about in our next slide. Okay, so any other question? Ankit Tiles, he's saying hi. Any question, Ankit, from your side? Please type in the chat box. I will be happy to answer that. Okay, in the meantime, I'm coming back to the slide and we'll talk about limitation of cloud computing. So the first one is completely dependent on internet. That's true. If I remember my IT career around 5 to 8 years back, in case internet is not available, sometime, not every time, but suppose once in a month, internet services were down for 1 hour. That was not impacting our work. The only thing you could not do is like you cannot check your email, right? But yes, your development activity, whatever work you are working upon, because softwares were installed on your local system, on your local, I can say, laptop, right? So those you can do easily. Now, since nothing is installed on your personal laptop, everything, whether it's a platform, it's a software, it's a coding, it's a testing, or anything, everything you are doing on the cloud, that means you are fully dependent on the internet. If your internet is down for 4 hours, that means your complete team of suppose 30 members, 30 members multiplied by 4, 120 hours. 120 hours billing is lost because those 120 hours, your team members cannot do anything. But that's very rare scenario nowadays. Internet services are quite good, including India. Very good services nowadays, right? So not a big challenge, but yes, still you are completely dependent upon internet. Okay. The next limitation and you can say challenge is leakage of sensitive information. And this usually happens with banking clients. I have worked with many banking clients, and I will tell you, whenever any cloud service provider will approach banks and will ask them that, can you, are you interested to move your services on the cloud? They are not happily ready for it. They will say, no, we can't do that. Why? Because we have very customer critical data, customers balance, and there can be many more sensitive information about the customers, right? If we move our data on the cloud, although cloud is very secure, but still they want to keep their data under their custody. Usually banks there have their own head offices, and in their head office they have a lot of server and they maintain your data over there. That means they have the physical security, and every team and every engineer is over there. They have the full control over there. So that's why bankings are not, I would say, not 100% migrating to the cloud. But yes, nowadays, cloud service providers are coming up with a hybrid approach. They ask the banks that, okay, whatever data you feel that it's very critical, you keep it with you. Will not ask you to migrate to the cloud. Keep it under your building, under your custody. But whatever other type of data, which you think that not that much critical, and you can migrate to the cloud, then it's okay. And then bank will ask, okay, that's fine, I will migrate out of my 10 applications, 10 projects, I will migrate 6 projects on the cloud, remaining 4 are very critical, those we will keep under our custody. Then how these services will interact with each other? Because one of the service which is running in bank's building, that need to interact with another service that is running on the cloud now. So cloud service provider will take care of that. They will provide the connectivity between your own premise. On premise means under your permission, under your boundaries, within your controlled location. From there and cloud, it will provide you the connectivity so that your on premise and your cloud applications can interact with each other. Okay, so this is about connectivity between cloud and on premise. And the last but not the least is monopoly of service provider. In case you are completely dependent on one service provider and they are increasing the cost of anything, you don't have any choice. And I'm telling you from my current project, we are using a service from AWS, and you won't believe they are increasing the charges every 6 months. Every 6 months they will send some email in advance that from this date, from 1st of July, from 1st of January, the charges per hour will be increased from this much to this much. They're increasing the price because that's very good tool, and as of now there is no alternate tool available for that. But yes, definitely you can search for other tools and you can break the dependency, but still you have dependent on the cloud for that. Okay, so friends, this is all about the limitations of cloud computing. In case you are having any doubt, Let me quickly check the chat window. So Hari Krishna is saying, is the data have privacy that uploaded over cloud, sir? Absolutely. Cloud is not unsecure. Cloud is very secure. Physical security, virus attack, everything. Data is completely encrypted. But still, right? Still, at some point of time, you may feel that okay, no, this is my personal data, and I don't want to hand over it to someone, right? You trust your friends. You can hand over few things to them, but there can be few very precious and very personal things which you still want to keep with you. Same thing is there. But to answer your question, cloud is very secure. There is no doubt on that. Okay, so let's move back because we have to talk about creating AWS trial account as well. So yeah, that is the next slide. So before we talk about how to create AWS trial account, in case you are having any doubt till now, you can ask me. So let me conduct a quick poll just to get some idea. Uh, so you can just vote from the chat window. Okay, I'm still on my YouTube chat window. In case you are having any question, you can ask me. I will respond to that. And after that, we'll talk about AWS trial account creation. Okay, let me check how many people have voted. So out of 40, only 13 people have voted till now. Okay, you guys can keep on voting. In the meantime, I will go back to my slide and we'll talk about creating a trial account. So how to create a trial account? You go to Google and simply type create AWS trial account. Okay, it's very simple, very easy. And you will notice that there is a first link is coming, right? That's the official website of AWS. You can see that aws.amazon.com. So you can open it. Okay, you can see that it is saying AWS free tier. As I explained you that there is a free 1 year account available with some limit on the usage, and the limit is too high that you can use it for your learning purpose throughout your year, and your limit will not be crossed. I'm even using for providing the training for every month, and still I'm under that limit. Okay. If you want to know more about AWS free tier, you can click on that. If you want to know like what are the services available, you can go to the FAQ section, right? So what is free tier? You can read this. And services within 12 months free tier allows customer to use the product for free up to specified limit for 1 year from the date the account was activated. That means if you are activating your account today, that means you can use for next 1 year. And for every service, there is a limit. You have to be within the limit. But if you are within the limit, you are still good for that. Okay. So if you want to know more about it, you can do that. Ultimate purpose of providing this is for two purposes. One is for students because they can use it for free. Second is for giving a trial to the companies. Sometimes companies is hesitant that whether they should go for cloud or not. So AWS will tell, okay, you try it out. We are not charging. You check it out, you have it, and then you decide. It's like you are going to an ice cream parlor and they are giving you some small ice cream for test, right? So you test it out, and if you feel good, if you like it, you can buy. Same thing is here. So you can read this line. The AWS free tier provides customer the ability to explore and try out AWS services free of charge up to specified limit for each service. Okay. I am emphasizing on this that it's free of cost, but under some limits. Okay. So now how to create? It's very simple. We will go back and we'll be clicking on create a free account. So it's very easy. You have to provide your email address. You can use your main email ID, or if you want to create a new email ID for this training program, you can do that. And AWS account name. Account name, I will tell you what's the purpose of that. Every AWS account has a 12-digit number. It's like you cannot remember your friend's mobile number. If you have 10 friends, remembering 10 mobile number is difficult. But yes, remembering 10 names is easy. We can do that, right? Same thing is here. Instead of remembering that 12 digit number, you can give a meaningful name to your account. And moreover, when you are dealing with multiple AWS account, because when you will join a company, join a project, there will be development environment, testing environment, production environment, and accordingly, there will be like three accounts: development AWS account, production AWS account, test AWS account. In that case, you can give some meaningful name. Okay. Suppose I'm working for a particular bank. Suppose I'm working for US Bank. So US Bank hyphen dev. That type of name I can give. So it will always help me to understand that, okay, this AWS account is mainly for US Bank project and for development environment. Okay. So once you will put your email address, click on verify email address, you will receive a link in your email. Once you click on that, your account will be verified. And on top of that, you have to provide your debit card or credit card information. You may be thinking why? Because I was telling this trial account is free of cost. Yeah, that's right. But still, for verification purpose, they will be asking you for debit card or credit card. If you can read this message, let me quickly read it for you. We will not charge for usage below AWS free tier limits. That's very clear. We temporarily hold INR 2. 2 is hidden behind that bar, but there is a 2 as a pending transaction for 3 to 5 days to verify your identity. Only 2 Indian rupees will be deducted from your card, and those 2 rupees will be refunded back after 3 to 5 days. So it's ultimately free of cost. Okay. So it's very easy. Within 5-10 minutes, your AWS account will be ready. Gone are the days. If I talk about 2-3 years back, they were taking 24 hours to verify your payment, and they were taking like 24 hours to activate your account. But nowadays, I have noticed that within 5-10 minutes, your account will be activated, and you should be able to log in into your AWS trial account. Okay. Any doubt you have till now, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will be logging in into my trial account because that's ready, and I will show you few things on my trial account. Okay. So I am checking my YouTube chat. In case you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, no worries. So before we go with my trial account, right? Let me quickly check if everyone is part of my WhatsApp group or not. Because any PDF, any presentation, any link for our regular classes, which we will start from Monday, I will be sharing through my WhatsApp group. So is there anyone who is not in my WhatsApp group? Or if not, right, I can quickly, just give me a moment. I can quickly share my WhatsApp group link here. So in case you are not part of that group, you can join. Just give me a moment. I am just finding out the link. Okay. Another thing is, after this 1 week of training program, I usually keep on creating videos on upcoming services because AWS has many services, and I keep on creating smaller videos. So if you want to get access to all future videos, that means you can subscribe to my channel. I hope most of you are already subscribed, but in case someone has not yet subscribed to my channel, so it would be beneficial for you because in future, whenever I will uh, create any video, that you will receive and you can watch it as per your convenience. So I'm sharing my channel link as well. You can subscribe to it. That would be beneficial for you. Okay. In the meantime, I will be logging in into my AWS account. So give me a moment. Okay. So this is my AWS console. As you can see here, it's asking for two things: root user and IAM user. As the name indicates, root user is the main user who has the full permissions. Like you are creating your account, so you are the owner of the account. You can create any service, you can delete any service, and you can even take care of your uses, like which service is used more, which service is used less, and you have full control over other user. Suppose anyone is joining your team, so you can create more users, and for those type of users we call it as IAM user. As of today, you can create only root user. That means your main email address, right? How to create IAM user? That is the agenda for our next class that we will be conducting on Monday. Okay. So I will be providing my root user email address. I will click on next. I will enter my password and I will click on sign in. Now, in order to avoid my account for a misuse, because if someone knows your username and they also know your password, that means anyone can log in into your trial account. And just suppose someone deliberately launches 100 servers in your account. Who will be chargeable? You, because it's free of cost available, but under some limit, right? No one is allowing you to launch 100 server. So in order to avoid such type of misuse, we can enable one more level of security on our account, that is known as MFA, multi-factor authentication. Just like Gmail, I hope in Gmail you must have activated your OTP stuff, right? So along with username and password, it will send you OTP on your mobile phone in case you are logging in on a different machine or different phone or a new laptop. Then it will ask. Same thing is there. So it's asked for MFA code. That's not an OTP, first of all. That is a basically one app is there. Give me a moment. I'm just checking my phone. One app is there with the name Google Authenticator, and that authenticator displays some number. So 890649. My bad, I was not typing. 890649. Okay. So I entered my email address, my username, and finally that one code from one app, and I'm able to successfully log in into my AWS trial account. I created this in June, and June, July, and almost half of August. I'm using from last 2.5 months. So now there are many services. If you click on services here, you will find the categories on the left side, analytical category, and under analytics, we have Athena, clean rooms, cloud search, data exchange, data pipeline, data zone, EMR, and many more. If you click on next one, application integration, you will find many more. We have business application, compute, containers, database also we have. That means if your application, if your project needs some DB, some database, cloud service provider will provide it for you. You don't have to worry about it. And you can say game development, Internet of Things, machine learning, and many more services are there. Okay. In case you are looking for specific service, you can always search in the search bar. I was talking about that server, right? Some server is physically located and we can get access to it and we can use it for our project purpose. So that service is EC2, which stand for Elastic Compute Cloud. And you can read this tagline. It is saying virtual servers in the cloud. Why we call it virtual? Because for you it's virtual only, right? You don't know where exactly it's located. You simply get the username and password, you log in into that and use it. Don't have to worry about where exactly it's located. How to provide the power supply to that location. That's not your concern. You can use it. So in our next class that will start from Monday, the very first thing we will do is launching our first server. And that's free of cost. Okay, don't worry about it. So this is about my trial account, and one important thing is billing alerts. So billing alerts is very important. You click on your name on the right upper corner and you can see that. I was telling, right? There is a 12-digit account ID. This one is account ID. And then you click on billing dashboard. So from billing dashboard, you can check like how many services you are using. So on the left side, you can see free tier link is there. Click on free tier and you can use. So these are different services and their usage accordingly. So you can see now. So you can see this first service, right? This one is, let me close this. Okay, give me a moment. So first service is Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2, right? So out of 100% capacity, I'm using 76.26%. And If you come down, there are other services I'm using 13%, 5%, 1%, 0% also. So it's very under very very good limit, right? Limit is very high. If you are using for your training purpose, whatever number of hours you will do your practice, it will be always remain under limit. So that means you can enjoy 1 year of free uses from AWS without paying even a single rupees. Okay. One more important thing is in the billing alert, there is a in the billing section. If you come down, you will find billing preference. In the billing preference, you can see this alert preference and you can add your email address. You see this. That means if you are about to cross your limit, suppose you have crossed your 80% of limit or 90% of limit, that case they will be sending you the alerts. AWS team will send you an email that your usage for this particular service is already reached 80%, so that you are aware, so that you are not unnecessarily charged for it. Sometime we launch one server and we were doing some practice. Suddenly our friend came, okay, let's go for a party, and we did not stop the server. Server keep on running 24 by 7. If you keep one server 24 by 7, even that's not chargeable. I will tell you how. Because they provide 750 hours of free uses for server. 750 hours per month. That means if you run your server 24 by 7 running for 30 days, how much it will become? 720. And in case your month has 31 days, it will become something around 744, still less than 750, right? But that does not mean that we will keep our server running. Definitely not a good idea. As a best practice, as in when you are done with your practice, please stop your instance. You don't need to delete it. Data will be still there. Data will be safely secured. Next day you can start your server again and you will find your data as it is. So keep your server in stopped state when not in use. Very simple. Okay. So friend, this with this one I am done with introduction to cloud computing and introduction to uh, AWS account creation as well. In case you are having any doubts, any type of doubt, technical, non-technical, anything, that you can ask me. Okay. We'll take 2 minutes of break and then I will show you what different topics we will be covering during our 1 week of training program. Okay. So I am checking the YouTube chat. So we are almost on time. That's my always preference because many people are attending the training and I respect everyone's time. That's why I tried my best to be within 1 hour. But usually demo class go little bit 5-10 minutes longer. Otherwise, every day's class will try to keep it within 1 hour only. So Purnima is asking to get the MFA code, do we have to install any application? Yes, we have to install and I will explain that in more detail so you don't have to worry about as of now. How can we know how many much days are left for free trial account? You know automatically, right? The day you will start your account, just one more year. So today is 19th of August. If I will create today, that will be valid till 18th of August 2024. Okay, one important question is from Sumant, like what would be the timing for the regular classes from Monday? That's very good question. I have two timing available. I will conduct a poll quickly. So the first timing is India morning time. That is 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. IST. That's my preferred time. But since everyone is not habitual of waking up early morning, it's you can opt for evening time. Evening time would be 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. IST. You can choose as per your convenience. And in case you are not able to make any one of them, then you can always click on the link because I will be sharing the link every day in the WhatsApp group. You can click on the link as per your convenience after the class and you can watch the recording. But I think attending live class is much more interesting. You can ask your doubts and all, right? So I am conducting this poll. Just give me a moment. Regular class timing. So I'm conducting this poll. Please respond so that we can get some idea and we'll go with the majority. Okay, voting are changing. Earlier, the morning one was on top, and now the evening one is winning. I don't have option to vote. I cannot vote myself. Otherwise, I will vote for morning time. But anyway, we'll go with the majority. As of now, only 17 people have voted. I would say please vote everyone because this is for you, right? This is your preferred time. If you are looking for a preferred time, please vote now. It's time to show, and then we'll go with that particular time. Okay, out of 36 people, I have received vote from 20. Please vote. Okay, 23 votes are there out of 36. 13 people are still there who haven't voted. Please vote everyone. I am requesting everyone to vote so that we can have the good idea and we'll go with that. Okay, 26, 27. Okay, so two-thirds of the people, 67% of the people have voted for the evening time, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. IST, and remaining 33% people have voted for the morning time. So I think this is a clear distinction. Uh, Evening time is like preferred by most of the people. So we'll be going with the evening time. Okay, although my preferred time is morning. No worries, we'll go with the evening time. So let me type in the chat. As per the majority, we will conduct classes in evening time, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. IST. Okay, so friends, I will be creating the link every day and I will be posting in the WhatsApp group so that you can join easily. In case someone is not part of WhatsApp group, what you can do is if you have already subscribed, you will be getting a notification and you can join. So just be available on the time, that is 5:30. And in case you are having any doubt, you can ask during the class, or in case you are watching my video again, you can again post on that video. What I do is every day before sleeping in the usually night time, I check the comments on my all videos and then I respond to that. Okay, so before we close the call, the one thing is still pending. I will show you the what different topics we will be covering in 1 week. Okay, so out of 7 classes, one class is already done for today's one. 6 more classes will be there. So the first section, introduction to cloud computing, introduction to AWS, creating trial account, billing alerts, and brief introduction to AWS services. This section we have already done in today's class. Okay. The next class, Monday 5:30 p.m. IST, will be talking about IAM. You noticed, right? When we were logging in, it was asking about IAM user and root user. So in case you have few team members, how do you create IAM user? That we will explain. And there are a few more things: IAM users, IAM groups, IAM roles, and MFA. Someone was asking about this, right? So how to enable that MFA code so that your AWS trial account is more secure, so that you can avoid it from misuse or any hacker like that. We will explain about it. Okay. After that, S3 is a storage related service, simple storage service. You can compare with Google Drive. Just like in Google Drive, you can store your data. Similarly, AWS will provide you the storage where you can not only store the data, but you can process also. Suppose the Python code is running on server, but data is on S3. So that server is capable of reading the data from S3, process it on the server, and send the output back on the storage. It's like you are uh, picking something from fridge, you are processing it in the kitchen, and once the product is ready, once your cake is ready, you are putting the cake back to the fridge. So freeze is storage. That's not processing. Your food processor is outside in the kitchen, right? Same thing is here. AWS is providing a storage service. Next is EC2. That stands for, as you know, Elastic Compute Cloud. That's nothing but a remote server. So we will be launching our first server. We will be connecting to that server. We will be executing some commands to on that server and all that. We'll talk about Lambda functions. I'm just telling you some names. We'll explore everything practically. Today only I had some slides. Next class onwards, there is no slide. I will directly start the class by opening my trial account, and everything during the 1 hour I will be showing everything on that trial account only. No PPT, no slides. We'll talk about database. We'll talk about crawler, Athena, Redshift, DynamoDB, and there are many more services: CloudWatch, Secret Manager, SNS, SQS, Cloud9, and we'll talk about some Python concepts, functions, and we'll talk about some PySpark concepts. So this 1 week of training will get you started. I'm not saying this training is sufficient for like to start your career or to get a project. This training is a good start. After that, I have 6 weeks of training videos from my previous batch. I conducted one training batch for US folks in June. It started from 1st June and it went till mid of July because it was 6 week training program. I have videos available with me on my channel. I can share you the link after completion of this 1 week of live training. And after that, as per your choice, as per your preferred topics, you can watch the recording and you can do that practically on your system. I hope after this 1 week of training, you will be much more comfortable with AWS services and you should be able to explore by watching the video and trying the hands-on practicals on your trial account. Okay. So friends, with this one, I am done from my end. In case you are having any type of doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So I'm going back to my chat window. So out of 34 people, 30 people voted. That's great. I appreciate that. Okay. So Siddhi is asking, what are you teaching? Is that enough for get a job? I think I have already answered that. Although I looked at your question now, but I have already answered that. Apart from this 1 week of training, you need to go through my more videos. And in case you want to go for a paid training, that would be 6 week training. You can go for that also. But in case you are a student and you just want to explore the videos and you want to try the things by yourself, I will share you the video from my previous batch and which you can explore as per your convenient time. Okay, Sunil is asking, will this be uploaded in your channel? Yes, in my channel, if you go to the live section, there is a live section, right? You can go to my channel and in the live section, you will find this class and you can watch it as per your convenience. In case you face any type of issue, just let me know on WhatsApp. We'll look into that. I am just going through the chat in case I might have missed any question. To get MFA code, we have to install any app. Yes, we'll do. I will explain on that. Okay, friends, I think we are just 10 minutes late. I think that's worth because in a demo class, we are talking about a lot of stuff. Sometimes it goes a little bit beyond 1 hour, but our regular classes starting from Monday will be absolutely, we'll try to make it within 1 hour. Okay. So thanks for attending this session. Thanks for making it interactive. I hope you find it interesting and I hope this will be helpful some way in your career, in your training, in your learning, in your job. If you are planning to switch your career, in case you want to enter the IT world, in case you are into BTech, into MTech, in any field, any profile you are, I hope my training should help you in any manner. If that helps you, that's a proud feeling for me. Okay, there is a compliment from Ankit. For today class, this was a good session. I enjoyed the session. Thanks for the knowledge. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate that you attended this training over the weekend because I understand over the weekend everyone has some plans, right? But I appreciate that you took some time out of your schedule to make it. And then we will have the regular classes on weekdays only. Okay, so that's all for today. See you in the next class on Monday. Till now, till then, Just enjoy your weekend. Thank you.